Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am so excited on this foggy morning to be with one of my favorite people. We are talking with Brandon Delsid, who has a long and amazing past history with the Fresno performing arts scene. And he's actually tonight going to be doing something very special. He is hosting a special kind of gala benefit performance for Children's Musical Theaterworks. So I'm going to get my camera turned around here, and we're going to get really close. Now, you notice that Brandon is actually sitting on a throne-like prop. We are in the Children's Musical Theaterworks pop-up costume shop at Sierra Vista Mall. So first of all, Brandon, it is so good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too, Donald. Yes, and I bring this with me everywhere I go. It's in a little trailer with me.
You have a servant who brings it around. Well, it's good. It's good.
You know how we do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this show tonight, this is actually kind of a special show because theater companies all over the country are performing some version of this show this weekend. And it's kind of all of a big thank you from a music publisher, Music MTI, to kind of thank theaters for just hanging in there.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what folks will see at the Fresno Veterans Memorial Auditorium tonight.
Oh, you've got to come out tonight if you have a chance. It's happening, like Donald just said, at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium. And yeah, it is a show called All Together Now in support of, the COVID-19 pandemic that really took a toll on community theaters everywhere. And so we are putting together a piece-by-piece show where we got to kind of pick the songs that we really felt spoke to us and to our audience and our kids, and it's going to be an amazing cabaret. I love a good cabaret. I love a cabaret. Songs, the whole shebang. And so we're going to be doing that tonight at 7:30 at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium, right across from that water tower that's still there all these years later, and it is just going to be spectacular. I mean, these kids are amazing. I got to have a rehearsal last night, and they are so dedicated. The love is there. The magic that is always, part of the CMT shows that I grew up doing is there. And so it's really cool to see, with how long the lights have been down for so many community theaters, we're back, and so it's important now that people show up and join us. So you can get tickets at cmtworks.org.
So what are you going to be doing in the show? You're the host, so you introduce all the acts, and are you also performing?
That's the plan. We'll see how the day goes, but that is the plan. No, I'm going to be starting off the show with a performance of Be Our Guest, which I'm very excited about. And then you're going to get to see a lot of alumni from all over the place. We have alumni coming from other parts of the state that drove in just for this performance tonight at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium. And it's a wonderful show, and I'm going to be hosting, emceeing, keeping the show going, keeping it light, nothing too heavy, and just, making sure everybody has a good time. That's really what I'm hoping to do, and bring some happiness to the room.
And what are a couple of the well-known songs besides your opening number that people will hear?
Yeah, we're starting off with Be Our Guest, and then you're going to get to see some amazing songs from Songs for a New World, songs from Consider Yourself. We have a little Mamma Mia. We have Disney. We've got everything you could want from a night out on the town. And it's not too long of a show also. You're going to be able to get in, get a glass of wine, bring a friend, bring a friend's friend, and relax and just enjoy a night out, We haven't gotten to have nights out where you get to get dressed up and have fun. I'm going to have 3 costume changes like Whoopi at the Oscars, so it's going to be an experience.
So what is Children's Musical Theaterworks? What does it mean to you, and why is it so important?
Well, it's funny. I was just talking to someone about this earlier this morning. I grew up here. I started doing theater at Cynthia Merrill's way back in the day. I mean, we're talking like when Cynthia Merrill was like Abby Lee Miller with a stick, hitting kids on their ankles. I mean, those were the days, let me tell you. And then I moved on to, CMT, and then Roger Rocca's. And so the community theater here has a huge place in my heart. It really, really does. Everything and the person I've become and my personality and my drive and my discipline is all from the conglomeration of these places. But CMT really gave me a discipline that I apply into every day of my life. You know, there is heart here. I have childhood friends. I actually am also an ordained minister, lol. And I just married my childhood friend. I didn't marry her. I was the minister at the wedding. And for who I met here at CMT, you know, in these very halls 15 years ago. So these friendships, you know, they run deep, and there's a love and a loyalty I feel to the company and to the community theater of Fresno, 100%.
So hosting is something that you are pretty good at these days, and I understand that you have been involved with covering Fashion Week in New York. Tell us about that, and maybe throw a couple of other highlights from your career.
Well, you know, it all started here. I had a talk show that Donald and me became good friends at many years back called Basically Brandon, and that was kind of when I really learned how much I love talking to people. You know, I definitely say it comes from a lot of my family members, my grandma, and a lot of people like that, you know, could have a conversation with a plastic chair. But I love talking and chatting with people. And so, yeah, a couple years back, I lived in New York the last 3 years. I did an off-Broadway production of The Big Bang Theory. That was really fun for about a year. And then I started getting into hosting again, and I've been hosting for New York Fashion Week for a company called Flying Solo. I've done it the last 2 years. I host for them in Miami. I host for them for LA Fashion Week, and I love it. I love fashion. I love, you know, getting to meet all these designers, and the shows are just so spectacular. So yeah, I was just in New York about a month and a half ago for New York Fashion Week, and I'm looking forward to next year. Yeah, very, very fun. And now I'm back in Los Angeles auditioning. I just filmed a small role in a feature film this summer, which was really exciting. That's gonna come out next year, and just hitting the ground running, you know, that audition grind. And it's nice to be in LA, a little bit closer to home with, you know, so many good friends and family still here, so.
And I'll just jump in and tell our listeners out there that if you have any comments or questions for Brandon, just write one of those comments there, and I'm sure he would be happy to answer. In terms of your career trajectory, is it musical theater that is your prime direction, or what direction are you going?
Yeah, so, you know, I think being in New York prior to the pandemic, I was doing a lot of musical theater. I did a tour for Nickelodeon for a year. I did a regional tour of Beauty and the Beast. That was really fun, where I got to play Lumiere. And then transitioned into doing an off-Broadway show, like I said. Post-pandemic, I've really been focusing on TV and film, and I've been auditioning a lot for that stuff since the summer. And fingers crossed, Donald, I'm like, please, God, just one of these ones work out. You know the struggle, you know how it goes, but, you know, I'm in it for the long haul, and it's a part of my soul, and in the meantime, I'm just trying to have a good time. I think that's, you know, what life is all about. You have your goals, you have your ambitions, but along the way, you have to have fun, and you have to have a good time, and you have to stay in touch with people, family, friends, your community, and that's the stuff that keeps you going. That's, you know, the stuff that drives you along the way.
Well, I think that it would be fun for us to take a short walk down to the actual rehearsal space. And while we're walking, and we'll do this is all live, I'm curious about being a host.
Yes.
Like, how much of your material do you script beforehand, say with Fashion Week, and how much is it just
So a lot of it is off the cuff.
off the cuff?
Yeah, a lot of it is off the cuff. I actually had an audition yesterday that it was a hosting audition in LA before I drove down. And I wrote out little jokes for myself, like I used to do on Basically Brandon, which is funny, because some, you know, are great, and then some totally are like, womp, womp. Should we get a Wetzel's pretzel on the way by the chance? I mean, maybe, you know, we're in Sierra Vista.
You know, you're in a mall. It's like you have to have a pretzel, right?
Do some Christmas shopping.
You could.
But I try to, you know, really go off the cuff because I love talking to people. And so tonight, there will be some stuff planned, but a lot of it will be how I'm feeling, you know, how the audience reacts, if it's a hot crowd, if it's a good crowd. You know, we used to have some of that with Basically Brandon, where it was like, let's see how people respond to everything we're doing. So.
And I'm curious, is Basically Brandon still archived? Can you go back and look?
Archived in a vault somewhere deep
Okay.
underground. That hairstyle, those glasses. No,
Oh,
those were different days.
well, when you do your Oscar acceptance speech, we'll run that package of.
That'll be there.
But really, I mean, honestly, you had so much drive and so much grit when you were doing that show. I was just so admired. I mean, you basically put together a whole talk show just on your own, with the help of some good friends
Very good
too.
friends. Camille, Greg, Daniel, Dominic, who have all gone on. Kylie, of course, Kylie Briggs, who have all gone on to do incredible things, and I still am friends with all of them. And I hope for basically Brandon to come back in some capacity in the next couple of years or something. Definitely.
Hey, I mean, I could see it as a nationwide talk show. You never know. You never know.
These days.
So let's take a look.
We got to take a peek.
What we've got a rehearsal going on.
We do. They are gearing up. They are rehearsing. And this is all happening live tonight.
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 Well, maybe what we could do is, we have just run into the director of the show, Randy Colress. You are on your last day or your final day before the show tonight. Tell us, just give us a pitch for why folks should come down and see this show.
Pitch. This is a group of very hard-working actors that have put the past 10 weeks of their lives on hold to focus on fundraising for CMT, which has been their community theater experience pretty much for any child who is growing up in Fresno. And if they don't have that, they don't have anything. So please give them a chance to spread their wings musically and come out and support CMT.
What is it like to have Brandon as your host?
It's pretty surreal, I didn't think we'd get him back, to be perfectly honest, because he's out there, having a career as an actor thanks to CMT. So I'm so grateful to have him, and he's been a good friend of mine for many, many years, and it's good to see him.
Well, we do, I'll go back to Brandon here. We do have Noelle says, "Hi, it's Noelle. You're very attractive. Congrats on giving back to your community as you are you are a rich and famous artist."
Yes.
Now.
Yes, totally. I always tell my mom, I say, the schedule of a rich and famous actor without the paychecks yet. But it's coming, right?
Exactly.
Sooner than later.
Exactly. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for this sneak peek we have. Let's tell everybody one more time about the show, how you get tickets, what's going on.
You have to come out, if you're free tonight, Veterans Memorial Auditorium, 7:30 p.m. Get a glass of wine, bring a flask, I don't care. It starts at 7:30. Visit cmtworks.org. It's going to be a show unlike anything. I promise you guys, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Okay, and I'll turn the camera around. Wait, sorry.
Look at them.
And we'll say, all right,
guys,
thank you,
so
Brandon.
much.
Great to see you.
See you guys soon.
Okay, take care, everyone.